Not sure if this is common knowledge or not, so maybe you know this or maybe you don't, but May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And if you've been hanging out here for a while, you know this isn't a new conversation for us. Mental health and forensics has always been incorporated as part of what we teach, what we talk about, and what we prioritize as a business since our very first Forensic Supervision course back in 2019. And I gotta tell you, at the time, these conversations weren't always easy to have. In fact, in a lot of spaces, they were still considered uncomfortable or taboo. If one of us or an instructor decided to share a hard time that we've dealt with, mental health in our careers, which of course, we never forced anyone to do this. It's something that we have done or our instructors have done voluntarily. Some people would say it seemed unnecessary to quote unquote re-traumatize us or them. So it's no surprise that most of the time these conversations were just avoided altogether. But over the last few years, we've seen a big shift in forensics. People are having more conversations about it. We're seeing a lot more awareness. I've even seen a lot of graduate students studying the effects of the job on mental health as their capstone or thesis or doctorate project. And every year there seems to be more sessions at conferences focused on stress and burnout and impact of this work. It's really such a great thing to see, but also just because we're talking about it more doesn't mean we fully understand it yet. Research across forensic professions continue to show high levels of stress, burnout, and exposure to traumatic material. And what makes this field unique is that the exposure we experience isn't always direct. It's what you see in photos and videos and on evidence. You constantly have to document these things, you analyze it, and then all of the stuff that you carry with you after the scene or the case is done. Not to mention trauma from courtroom testimony. Anyone? Over time, all of this adds up. And for many professionals, there isn't always a clear roadmap for how to manage that. In fact, most of what we were taught was to suck it up, buttercup, and put your big girl panties on. We've got a job to do. And the mentality was, if you can't handle the trauma, you're not cut out for this career. So essentially, the message that struggling with mental health was a sign of weakness, and that could jeopardize our jobs. So we did the best we could with compartmentalization and just numbing our feelings. Spoiler alert, that did not work out so well for us. So that's why this has always been a cornerstone of how we approach training and development of forensic professionals just like you. Because this isn't just a personal issue unique to us and our experiences. We know so many people we've met have similar stories. Of course, some of the things we talk about include coping strategies and how to become more resilient, but that's only on the individual level for the person experiencing the stress and the burnout, which is a great start, don't get me wrong, but it's only part of the discussion regarding mental health in forensics. It should also be about improving mental health and wellness at an organizational level. So we're talking about unrealistic workload and expectations. We're talking about leadership and supporting your staff and systems that you have in place to help people before, during, and after they're showing signs of struggle. So throughout the month of May, we're doing something a little different. We are revisiting some of the most impactful conversations we've had on this podcast. These are episodes that highlight real experiences, real challenges, and decisions forensic professionals face when it comes to mental health. Even if you have heard some of these stories before, they may hit a little differently now than they did the first time you heard them, depending on where you're at in your career. Also, just one last thing, if this is something you've experienced in your own career or something you're actively working to address within your forensic unit, we'd love to hear from you. We're continuing to create these conversations, and for the people in this field who are willing to share what they've experienced and what's actually working. So if that's you, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. Okay? So of course, this is an ongoing conversation, and this month is just one way we're continuing to do it. So let's get into it.